and then select folder. Okay, we will close all the unnecessary things, and then now since we already have npm installed, we are going to skip step 2. We will go to step 3, that is npx create react app. Npx create react app. App name would be event registration form app. Okay, it can also be I'm just naming it so that anyone who reads it can understand what exactly it does. Okay, so I'm just going to be here. Okay, then we will see what happens next. Okay, until this installs. So until step 6, it's always the same. Only our h1 value differs. The text inside h1 differs. And step 7, we are going to create pages folder. Then we are going to have export and then return statement and a div tag. Okay. Then in 8th step, we are going to include our page reference in our app.js. That is also the same. In 9th one, we are going to add our form elements. Okay. Here. Okay. We are going to have name of the participant, event name, and event date. Only 3. Okay. We are not going to complicate things too much. We are going to have only 3. Okay. Next. We will enclose this within div tags. Okay. We already have div tags, and we will paste it after the div tag in step 9, and we will have an error for sure because only one parent element can be returned, and then we will move it inside form. We'll move the form inside div. Okay. Next, we are going to add some validations to our form. Okay. So for example, date cannot be someday previous day. Okay. So say today I'm trying to register and I cannot select 14th of Jan, correct? So the minimum date should be today and forward. Okay. That we are going to add in step 10. Okay. Next, we are going to add type attributes for the buttons, type submit and type reset. You will see why we are going to add these attributes. Okay, I will explain it to you when we are coding. Okay, then 13th is we are going to add the form data to store everything. So initially it should be null, so it shouldn't have any values. So it should be null when we are declaring and initializing. Okay. Oh, we are done with our event registration form app. So let's go back here and let us say cd event registration form app and npm start. So let's see. So we have our this one. So let's do this. My bad. Okay, let's close our terminal for now. We will concentrate on src app.js. We are not going to touch any other, as we already know. So now what we do is step 6. We are going to delete all the lines of code between return in app function. Okay, first we are going to delete the logo import line, that is line 1. And then we are going to eliminate whatever is inside our return function. Okay, then let's go back. We will just copy paste this here. Okay. Oh god, we already have 2 returns, so we will just do this. Okay. we are going to do some indentation. As I already told you, indentations will always be a problem when you copy paste some lines of codes, right? So we are going to indent it so that we can read it easily. We can read and understand that return has one parent tag called div and a child tag for div called h1. Okay, and then here we have a event registration form. Okay, then we will go back. We will start grouping the files. So go to Explorer, under SRC, create a folder called pages, and another inside pages, we are going to create a JSX page called page1.jsx. Okay. Now here we are going to have export default function page one function and then clever brackets. Okay. Then, as I told you, export, whenever we have export, we need to return something. So we are going to add a return statement. Okay. So now we have error. What does it say? Problems. See, expression expected. So that means there should be a return element, correct? So we are going to have div. Okay. Now we are going to include page one reference in app.js, step 8. Okay, we will go back here and say import page one from slash pages slash page one dot jsx. Okay, we are clear until now, right? Okay. See, React is like, no, no, this cannot be it because there's a warning. So let us try to resolve the warning. Page one is defined but never used. Okay. We will close our terminal. We don't need this for now so that we can see the code properly. Okay. So now we are going to include page one React tag. Oh, it's page now, right? So we have it. Okay. So let's go back and see if we can see anything. No. Why don't we have anything else except H1? Because there's nothing that is getting displayed between the div tags. It is just empty. So we are just not displaying anything. So now let's go back to our README that says add the following piece of code to generate a form within return statement. Copy this. We will, it just states within return statement, not within div, correct? So we will do this and we will see our error. See, JSX expressions must have one parent element. So we have two parent elements, div as well as form. Okay. So now what we will do is we will move it inside div. Okay. Okay. I will do the indentation. If I don't do the indentation, I will not be able to differentiate and it does not look neat, correct? So I'm going to do the indentation. So, okay. Okay. So now let us go back to our React app and see, okay, what it says. Oh, here we go. We have name of the participant, event name, and event date, correct? So now let's go back and see, okay. So we will try to submit. Okay, it is accepting. Even though I haven't given any data, it is still accepting. So this is where validation comes into play. Okay, so now what we will do is we will go back to our page 1.jsx. Now, for each of the input tag, we are going to add a keyword called required. Okay, we will just add it for one and see what happens. Okay, let us say submit. See, it says please fill in this field. This is called validation, basic validation. So let's say blah blah blah. Okay, we have added required only for participant name, not event name and event date. So we will say submit again. It is going to take it because it's only for required. It is only for required is only added for name of the participant field. So now what we will do is we will just copy this required and we will add it to the other two input fields. Okay. Now we will save this. Okay. So we will try submit again. No, it says please fill in this field. So let's say something and then submit again. Event name as well. Please fill in this field. So we will say blah, blah, blah and submit again. It also says please fill in this field. So we are done with basic validation of not leaving the fields empty. Okay. Now we will click on this and see. Okay. So now, see, I can say I can register today and say I attended an event on Jan 1st. Okay. But and submit it. But it doesn't make any sense. Normally, event registration is for participating in the future date, correct? So what we need to do is we need to have a little validation for event date field. Okay, event date. Okay, let's go back and see. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we are going to set minimum value here. We're going to add an attribute called min is equal to, we are going to say, let's say it's a variable today. Okay, we are going to save this. But we haven't declared today. We haven't defined today. So we will go back. Okay, we will go back here and say enter, enter. Here we are going to do const date is equal to new date. Oh, my bad. It should be like this. Okay. So let us say, okay, no, let us say this is itself today. Okay. If we go back here and say this is still not working, right? This is still not working. Let's see why. We will console log this, console.log today and today. Okay, inspect. See, it is displaying Thursday, Jan. Everything is worded. Okay, we don't need Thursday. We don't need to. The date, the event date field doesn't need to know it is a Thursday because it is already a calendar. It already knows today's Thursday. And if you look at the format, it is in the format of DDMMYYY. That means it is all digits. Okay. Here it is Jan. It is 15th, 2026. And it also has time. It also has the, which is it using? Like, is it Indian Standard Time or Greenwich Meridian Time or European Standard Time? Date doesn't need all that. So what we do is we are going to do something else. Okay. We are going to change this. Okay. So we are going to do today dot to ISO string. Okay. This is a standardization string. Okay. So let us see what ISO string displays. Okay. Console.log and today. Okay. Let us save it. Then say this. Oh no, it's displaying the same. So let's assign it to another variable. Let's call this const format today is equal to this one. Okay, then we will copy this and we will paste it in console.log. Okay, over format today. Okay, now we will refresh the whole page. See, here you can see it is in the format of digits. Okay, 2026 01 15. It still has time. See, T is for time, beginning of time. So we have date as well as time. But we do not need time, correct? See, here if you still see, it will still accept that. Okay. So now what we are going to do is, we are going to say format today, and there is a function called split. Okay, so what it will do is, it will split this one into two halves. Okay, split. And how do we want to split? Where do we want to split? We want to split date and time as two separate elements. So we are going to use t as our separating this one splitting parameter. Okay, it's here you say separator. What is our separator? In this case, t is our separator, and we are going to add t, and then we will try to console log this one. Okay, let us see if it works. No, it doesn't work. So what we need to do is, we need to say const date is equal to, and then we change it to date. Okay, and now you can see this format today is split into two. Okay, it is stored as an array. The first index is date and the second index is time. So in this case, we only need date. So what we are going to do is, we are going to say here date of 0, and let us see if it worked. Okay, let us see if it worked. See, it grayed out everything before that. If you try to select it, it will not allow you to select it. So the best possible, I mean, the minimum date value that you can take is today. So which is 15th. If you say 15th is filled up. Okay. Any questions? So instead of doing all this, normally what we do is, we normally do not do this. We combine everything together. Okay, I will show you how to do that. Okay, so we don't have to have different things, because I'm trying to explain it to you. I'm doing it in different ways. Okay, so normally what we do is, we are going to take new date, and then we say const date today dot to ISO string dot split t. Okay, then we are going to take date of I. Okay, wait. Format date today. 1 second. Let's see what happened. Runtime error. An error occurred. Okay. See, consider adding an error boundary to your tree to customize. Ah, sorry, my bad. It's a function. So we need to add brackets. Okay. That's the only thing. Okay. So refresh it. Now we have console.log.date over. And then we don't need console.log. It is only used for debugging. Okay. So we will delete this debugging and to understand what we are doing at each step. Okay. That's it. So we will say save, and then we will do refresh. Nothing is displayed now, but still this works. See, 15th. Let us try selecting 6. It is not happening. Let's try clear. It happens. Let us try 17. It takes up. So this is not an issue. So we are just setting the minimum value to today. Okay. Any doubts? If no, we will go back, we will move on to the next topic. Okay. Now, we have everything that we need. But in order to handle the values given by the user, we need to have an attribute called value. Okay. So what we are going to do is, for each of the input variable, we are going to add something called value is equal to form data dot event name. Okay. This is to make sure, this is to make sure that each of this is handled by React form. Okay. Now we will copy this and we will paste it instead of our
Can
previous
you
code.
can you
Okay.
repeat the difference between ID and value?
Okay. So ID is for just how do you call it? It is a DOM element. Okay. So what happens is, normally we use get element by ID, correct, to extract the value. But here in React, the forms are treated a little differently. It is formed into a group. Okay. So in order to be able to retrieve the value and keep it into this group, we are using value attribute. Were you able to understand what I was saying?
No, the value attribute is required only because you want to do some computation or something, is it? What happens if you don't give value?
So, okay. So if we don't give value, we have to again use HTML's method of getting values, each value to a different variable. We do not want to do that. I mean, that is tedious, correct? So instead, in React, we group all the input fields together in a single variable, like an array.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Proceed.
So, were you able to get it, sir? What I'm saying?
No, you proceed.
So
I think I'll
basically,
understand.
value stores. Okay. So basically, what happens is value actually holds the data within itself. Okay.
Okay.
It stores what the user types, and once the user moves to the next button, it will automatically go to the group and then it will assign it to it.
So the ID is the teacup and the value is the tea.
Correct.
Is it correct?
But we are just using ID here just for convenience and for future reference. That's it. If we don't use ID as well, this works fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So basically, values main point is to store input data. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So where were we? Here. So we are going to copy paste this inside form. Okay. Oh, the form is also there. But let's remove it. Okay. We will add spacing like this. So now, next, we are going to add type attribute to the buttons in the form as well. Okay. So we will do this. Okay. So reset, nothing is happening. It says please fill in the field. So for both submit and reset, it is happening the same way. Okay. It is thinking you're doing submit. So in order to avoid this confusion, we will go to button and after class name, we are going to type in type is equal to submit. Okay. And then here We are going here and saying type is equal to reset. Okay. So now what we will do is we will reset. This is not working. Okay, okay. We will come back to it. Why is it happening? Yeah, no, you have given it the right way. Okay. So we haven't declared form data. It is already having issues. We haven't defined it. So we will define it and then the reset should work fine. Okay. It's not rendering properly because there's an issue. There's an error. Okay. So now what we do is we are going to add something called form data. So we have as I told you, we are going to group all the input variables into a single group, correct? That group is called form data. So we are going to define it inside our function, page one function. Okay. Any variable anywhere we normally use. Right? Why is data zero not? Sorry, my bad. Even date. Type date required. Okay, sorry. Min equals, this got deleted. Date of 0. Okay, now we are fine. Okay. So now we are going to group. Okay. Now we are going to say const form data equals. So normally whatever we do, we are going to group it like this. Okay. So now we are going to have the same name as our ID. Okay. We're going to say participant name itself. Okay. We will say participant name is null. Okay. So like this. Okay. Oh, sorry. So next comes event name, correct? Event name is null. Okay. And then event date is also null. Okay. Now, oh, it's form data. My bad. Okay. So now we shouldn't have any errors. Correct? We don't have any errors. Okay. So now we are going to save this. Okay. So save. So what we will do is we will console.log form data. We will see what exactly is in form data now. Okay. So let's go back. Yeah. So it says you provided a value prop to a form field without an on change. So basically, whenever you have a value attribute, you have to have on change. Okay. It should know what it needs to do. So we will go back and then we will complete it and we will come back. Okay. See, handle change. Okay. So adding function to update the state of the form. Okay, the handle change function is used to update the state of the form dynamically in a React component when the user types into input fields. Okay, what we are going to do is see here what happens is, oh, my bad. Sorry, this should be like this. Okay, we are going to have form data and set form data. Okay, so basically, it is like whenever we need to change form data, we need to call the function called set form data. It is something very similar to getters, setters in Java. Okay, so it will automatically set the form. Just call this function, and it will automatically this one set the form data. Okay, it will say, okay, this form data is outdated. So when I say set form, it will go back here, and instead of participant being null, whatever the user has typed, it will fill that, and then it will do the same thing again and again. Okay, whenever we call it. So now I will explain what we are doing in handle change. Okay, so okay, so we need to have a handle change. So whenever the user starts, we have an error. We will come back. So whenever the user starts typing in the input field, right, there is change in input. So if it was null previously, now if say user types A, B, C, D, so there's constant change, correct? So in order to handle that and update our form data, what we are going to do is we are going to add a function called change, and then we are going to call our set form data. As I told you, whenever we call set form data, it will automatically go back to form data and then see which ID we are using. So for example, it says event.target.id. So target is form data. Okay. Event.target.id. ID is participant name. Okay. Then the event.target.value it will assign. So for participant name, it will retrieve the value from here and then put the value into participant name. So that happens every time we change data. Okay. So for that to happen automatically, we need to have another attribute called on change. On change is equal to, we need to have handle change. Okay. You got until now what exactly we are doing, we are trying to do. Oh, someone has typed in chat, sorry. Okay. Okay. So we will continue. We are going to add on change to all of the fields. So what we are going to do is we are just going to copy this and paste it everywhere. Okay. And here, so we have three and we have pasted for all three. Okay. So every time we type in something, we are going to see that. Okay. We will just go back here, try to refresh it. No, let's see what the issue is. An error occurred. Consider adding boundary. Okay, we will come back. Okay. Now we have our on change everything. Okay. Now we have to also have submit on submit. You remember we discussed about on submit. So as I told, we will be adding on submit to form because you can submit the values only once. Okay. So we say on submit is equal to, we are going to add a function called handle submit. Okay. Now we are going to add a function called handle submit. Okay. So we will say function handle submit of event and then brackets. Okay. Now here what we need to do is we need to add something called event dot prevent default. So what happens is normally it will if we change our input field or something happens, the form reloads itself. So our previously entered data, we might lose it. So in order to prevent that, we use something called event dot prevent default. Okay. Then we are going to say alert form submitted successfully. Okay. Once we have this, okay, then we will try it out. Okay. Let's go back here. What issue is this? Error occurred, type intermediate value uncaught. Which? No. Set form data. This is correct, right? What is the issue now? Let's go back. Let's see our. Okay. We haven't used any use state. Okay. So without using use state, we cannot store values, as I already told you. So we are going to use state, and then here as well. And you see, use state, it's not defined. So we need to import it. It is an inbuilt function, and then we need to import use state from React. Okay. And then we will see. Okay. Use state is not defined. I defined use state. So now you can see everything, right? So let us see object. So we do not have anything in event date, event name, participant name, correct? So what we will do is,
Sorry, what did you correct right now to remove that error?
so we used use state, sir. So
Oh,
basically what happens is, without use state, the
hmm.
the React does not store any value inside it.
Just
Okay.
for
Or
just for
it
my
doesn't.
understanding, can you remove that and can I see the error again?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
An error occurred in page one. Consider adding an error boundary to your tree.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay. So if so here it says default on cut. It will only start coming up with new possibilities of adding it. Okay.
Okay.
But as I already told you, use state is the only way that the React keeps listening to changes. Without
Okay.
use state, the data doesn't get updated, or it doesn't get stored. So we use
Okay.
use state. Okay. Now what we will do is we will add a simple thing. Okay. We will have this. Okay. I hope you know about interpolation, correct? So interpolation is something we normally use in to display text as well as values, JS values. Okay, so now what we do is dollar this one and form data. Okay. So now we are going to, whatever we submit, we are going to display it as an alert. So form data dot participant has registered for form data dot event on the date. Okay. So let's try this. Okay. Let's say MRUDULA. So the event is ReactJS for beginners, and then date. Say it can be only today or tomorrow. So I say today's is almost done. So let's say tomorrow, and then submit. See, it successfully handled. Form submitted successfully. Mridula has registered for React.js for beginners on 2026-01-16. Okay.
Rudra, it's
So,
9 o'clock. So would you like
yes,
to
sir.
close?
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
This is it. And let's try reset. Oh, reset is not working. Why is reset not working? Hmm. Reset should work. Okay. I will find out why the reset button is not working properly. Normally, if we just give reset, it should work. It should just reset all the input items, user inputs. So I will just check and we will get back. I will explain it to you in the next class. Okay, we will end the session now. So we have done the front end of this, and tomorrow we will be handling backend. My request to you is to install MySQL workbench in your systems so that we can handle backend tomorrow. Okay, I will send you the link to download, and then you can just give it the general installation. Okay, you don't need custom packages, just the general installations. You could do it on your own. Okay, it will take about half an hour. So I would like you to be ready for tomorrow.